In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make Mr. Grinch. Now, Mr. Grinch has got all ready for Christmas. He's got his nice tufty hair. You can obviously make accessories. I've just done the scarf and the hat, but you can go that one bit further and make him a Christmas cloak. Very easy. He's got lovely long fingers. So let's get on with this video. Okay, what you'll need to make Mr. Grinch, we have got two 25-gram balls at the moment of the green, and I had this much left in one of my balls, so probably about 45 grams, maybe 40 grams in total that I used. And I've got my red and my white for the hat, that used very little, and black for my features. I use a 2.5mm hook, and I do pop safety eyes on, but if you haven't got safety eyes, you can just do French knots or embroider them in. So let's get started with the first round. Now we're going to start with the arms. So we're going to be doing the fingers on the arms first. So we need to do a little slip knot, and we're going to be chaining 5. Now I'm going to be starting with the little finger first. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse my cat. And then we're going to slip stitch back down. So we're going to skip this first one. So you're going to end up with 4 slip stitch. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and I think I'm going to have to come back to you in a second. Let me just pause the video and get rid of my nuisance. 1 second. So that's our first little finger. Okay, on to the next finger. We've already slip stitched back down that little one. We're going to chain 6 this time. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Again, we're going to miss the first one, slip stitch all the way back down, so you can have 5 slip stitches on this one. Grab hold of that bit. The first one's always a tricky one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. And we need to do this again for the next finger, so we're going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go back down again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I've got 2 more to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Come back down again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now onto the last finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5. So that's the beginning of one of our hands. Now you're going to be making 2 of these, don't forget. But when you make the second one, you need to start from this end. So you will start with 6, a chain of 6, and you would do your 6 single crochet chains for the first 4. And then on your last one, it will be 5, so that you have 4 slip stitches going down. So the hands are going to have the thumb in the right place on each arm. So 2 arms, one beginning with 5, so you'll have 5, 5, 5, 5, and then the 4 slip stitches on your last one for your thumb, and the other one you'll be starting off with your 4 slip stitches and then go up to your 5 slip stitches, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've got all these fingers here now. We need to start making the hand section. So we need to chain 1, and then I'm going to show you with my needle where we're going in. So on each finger, you've got this main bump. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for the other 4, I'm just going to pop my needle through, just so that you can see visually where I'm going to be going. And we need to single crochet 5 single crochets on each side. So this is our first bump in this finger. So we're going to single crochet as 1, and then in this next one, see if I can pull on 1 at a time. 2, fingers out the way, on to number 3, number 4, and the last one there's number 5. Then we're going to turn our work, and we're going to do the same down the back. Let's get that tail end out of the way. So as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this one, where's it got? Number 5 is here. So I'm going to go through that one. Might have to pop my needle through just to grab it. Not the one above it really, that one there. Just stretch it a bit with the needle. There we go. And I can get through it, she says. Oh, come on, it can't be that difficult. Finally, that's the worst finger. So we have 1. I'm going to go up backwards on these ones. Maybe 4. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Number 2. Okay, and then number 3. Number 4. Oh, it's popped out again. Let's try that again. And then we just got the last finger to do. Number 5 there. So that is the worst part of the Grinch. Everything else is plain sailing. Now for row 3 all the way through to row 22, so that's the next 20 rounds, we're going to be doing 10 single crochets all the way around. So we need to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we need to remove the stitch marker for the last one, which is number 10. So I'm going to let you carry on and I will meet you at the end of row 22. I've just finished row 22 and my arm is stuffed, so now we're going to be single crocheting along the top. So you go in the next stitch and you find the corresponding one at the back, and we're just going to single crochet along the top to close it up. And then one more single crochet and we're going to cut our yarn. So that's our first arm done. And then obviously as we go into the second arm for the hand, you need to start with your 6 chains for the first 4 fingers and then 5 chains for your last finger on this hand, so it's opposite to the one that we've just done. So we're doing the longer fingers first, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and work back down. You're going to be doing the 5 slip stitches going down. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So if you want to carry on the same as the previous arm, you're doing 4 long fingers and then your small one, and I'll meet you at the end with your second arm complete. Okay, we're going to be starting from the leg, so we're going to be working our way up. So for the first leg we need to start with 6 single crochets in a magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and it's at this point we always pop our stitch marker back in. Okay, round 2, we're going to do a single crochet into each stitch. Make sure you get all the loops, and it will want to try and turn itself inside out, so you have to keep pushing it the right way. 1, come through, 2, 1st round's always the tightest, 3, keep pushing it the right way, 4, 5, and for the last one we need to take this stitch marker out, and there's number 6. So that's round 2, and I'm just going to give the end a tug as well to close that hole up a bit more. Now round 3 we're going to increase in this round. So for the first stitch we're going to be doing an increase, so it's this one here because we've already gone into this one. Doesn't want all those loops, does it? Let's try again. There we go. So I'm going to put 2 in that stitch, and again try and keep your work going the right way. And then a single crochet in your next one. We're going to repeat that pattern, so we're going to do 3 in total, so that's 1. So now we're going to do an increase in this stitch, so it's 2 in that one, 1, 2, try and keep it in the right way, and then a single crochet in our next one. That's the second round complete, and now the third bit, increase in this next one, and a single crochet under your stitch marker. And there we have round 3 done. Now for the next 5 rounds, so we're doing rows 4 to 8, we're going to do 9 single crochets all the way around. Oh, it didn't work, did it? Last one, there we go. It's going to get a lot easier as you go up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 is under the stitch marker. So if you want to carry on going around for the next obviously 5 rounds in total, I'm going to meet you at the beginning of row 9. Now for row 9 we're going to start working on the hill. So we need to start off with 4 single crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4, and all the way through, and then we're going to turn our work and we're going to do another 4 single crochets. I'm not going to chain one, I'm just going to go straight for it. Normally you would chain one to turn. 1, 2, 3 and 4, so I'm counting that as row 10. Row 11 we're going to do the same thing, we're going to turn our work and we're going to single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, and we need to find a stitch in the middle, it's just here. Make sure you've gone through 2, yeah. And that is our number 4. Row 12, we're going to do the same thing again. Turn our work and 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, we need to find it in here, so it's just under that one. Just need to make sure that you pick up the front and the back loop, like so. And we're going to do it one more time. Single crochet 4, this is row 13. 1, 2, 3, and we're going under this one here. That's 2, 4. I'm going to take this out here because it's not going to mean anything at the moment till we get back working in the round. Now for row 14, we need to do 2 single crochets in this section, and then we need to do 6 along here. So I don't know if you can see here, but we have got a gap here, and we've got a gap here. So we're going to do those 2. This is your first one of your 6. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which takes us to here. We're going to fit 2 single crochets in here, and then we're going to do the 4 along the top. So let's get started with these 2 single crochets down the side. So we need to even them out. Doesn't really matter where you go in, but I need this one here for my 6 along the bottom, so I can go in this one above it, and I'm going to pop one in here. So we've got, that's our first one. This one here is our second one. And you want to pull these quite tight because you're bringing the back of the heel up. Now this one here is our first of our 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one's in here, 6. So in total we've done 8 single crochets so far, because you've had 2 going down the side, 6 along the bottom, and we're going to put 2 in here. So if I count this properly, so it's 8. Now we're in number 9, so you don't get confused with what stitch we're on. And this is number 10, and then we're going to do the 4 along the top to finish that round. So you can see where your stitches have been. We've got one here, so that's 1, 2, 3, and that's the last one there. So we're back to where we started. Let's pop our stitch marker back in. So that's row 14 complete. Now for row 15 to 29, so that's the next 15 rounds, we're just going to be putting 1 single crochet into every stitch. So we're going right up to the knee at the moment. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the beginning of row 30. So we're just doing 1 single crochet all the way round. Okay, so now we are on row 30. We're going to start off by doing 7 single crochets, and you want to make sure you're stuffing as you go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in number 8 we're going to be doing an increase. 1, 2, let's get that stuffing out, and then we're going to finish off this round with 6 single crochets. So you've gone up by 1, so you're on 15 single crochets in this round now. So that was row 30. So for row 31 and 32, we're just going to be doing a single crochet all the way around. So you've got 15 single crochets for the next 2 rounds. So I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 33. Okay, so I've just finished that first leg and we are on row 32, and what I need to do is I'm going to be making the 2 legs, so I need this leg to finish halfway up, so that I'm probably 1 stitch over on this one. So I'm just going to bring 1 stitch back. That's about centre. Cut that yarn. Where's my scissors? So now you need to go and do exactly the same thing again, but don't cut your yarn on the second leg, and I'll meet you back after you've done that. Okay, this is my second leg done. So I'm going to take my stitch marker out of there because we're going to adjust it now. We want this to be in the middle. Let's just take a couple off. I'm happy with that one. Pop my stitch marker back in. And we're going to be joining the 2 legs together now. So to begin with, on row 33, we need to chain 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to pick up your second leg and we're going to look for the middle on this side. And I'm going to go with that one. And we're going to join that one with a single crochet. Like so. And then you're going to do 15 single crochets going around. So that was our first one. It's number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 10 is up here, but you need to hang on to this piece of yarn. You don't want to lose that one. That's number 10, which is on top of that one. So we're going to this one, is number 11, and you're going to incorporate your yarn in with it. So we've got no sewing in to do. Get in front. 11, give that one a nice tug, keep the stitch tight. 12, 13, just keep tugging on that one. 14, and this is number 15. Again, give that a little bit of tug. Then we're going to do 3 single crochets going along our chain. So we can get rid of that bit now. We're going to push that down in the leg with the stuff in. So you've got 3 stitches on here. I'm going to go in these back clumps. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So actually I'm going to go in this bit here. 1. This is number 2. Got to remember, you've got to go back down this again on the other side, so you need to access the other side of these stitches. And number 3, let me make sure it's straight. And that one there. No, it's gone through too far. I just want this top bit here. There we go. Sometimes it works pushing the hook in backwards. So that's 3. And then we're going to go 15 single crochets back on the leg. So I'm going to go into this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to remove that stitch marker now for number 15, but we still need to do our 3 single crochets going through that chain again to finish up as a whole round. So I'm literally just going to be doing my 3 single crochets in this side. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So that is row 33 complete. Row 34, we're going to be doing 5 single crochets and an increase. So I've got 1 stitch hiding here, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase. So we need 6 lots of that repetition. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you under your stitch marker. Row 35, we are doing 6 single crochets and then an increase in this round. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then our increase. So if you would like to follow that pattern around, I'll meet you back at the end of this row under your stitch marker. 6 single crochets, then your increase. Okay, so for rows 36 to 38, so that's the next 3 rows, we are just going to be doing 1 single crochet into every stitch. So we've got 3 rounds of pure 1 single crochet. So if you would like to carry on, I'm going to meet you back when we get to row 39. Now for row 39, we're going to be doing 15 single crochets and then an increase to begin with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and now our increase in number 16, so 2 in there. And then we want another 13 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and now an increase. finish this round with 18 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, get the stuffing out of the way, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and our last one is number 18. There we go. The next two rows, rows 40 and 41, we're just going to be doing 50 single crochets all the way around. So it's just a plain single crochet round for the next two rounds. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you at the beginning of row 42. Row 42, we're going to be doing 16 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, and a decrease is the front loop of the next two stitches. That's 1, that's 2, pull it through and pull it through, and then we're going to be going on to 11 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then another decrease. So the first two loops, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, and this is the home straight. Now we are going to be doing 19 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and under my stitch marker is 19. And we're going to go straight in to rows 43 and 44 are just single crochet rounds. So you're going to be doing 48 single crochets all the way around for the next 2 rounds. So I will meet you at the beginning of row 45. Onto row 45, we're doing 6 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around. Get the hook out of the way. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then you decrease, front 2 loops to the next 2 stitches, and then just carry that pattern on around and I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. 46, we're down to 5 single crochets and then a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and a decrease. So if you want to carry that pattern going, I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. And don't forget, we're stuffing the legs as we go. For rows 47 through to 56, so that's the next 10 rounds, we are just going to be doing a single crochet into every stitch. So if you want to carry on for the next 10 rounds, I'm going to meet you at the beginning of row 57. Row 57, we're going to be starting with 9 single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and now we're going to be doing our decrease. Now we need 16 single crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, and now we need another decrease. And then we should have 7 single crochets left. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, and 1 under our stitch marker will be number 7. There we go. Okay, we're going to start row 58 with a decrease. And then we're going to go straight in to 15 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, and now we're going to do another decrease. And we're going to finish up with 15 single crochets. So if you want to carry on your last 15 single crochets, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 59, we're going to be starting with 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now we want our decrease. And going into 14 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Now I want another decrease, and that will leave us with 5 single crochets left to do. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 under our stitch marker. Okay, so for row 60 we're going to be attaching the arms, because this is just a single crochet round and there is 30 single crochets to go around. And as you can see, with each arm we've got 1, 2, 3, about 4 stitches along the top. Let's double check this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can get away with 4. So on the each side, if you fold it flat, you just want to mark with your stitch marker. So that's the middle. So these are the middle 2. So by the time I get round to this one, I want to be attaching. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put that through those 4. So I know that that arm needs to go on that side. And remember, you need him facing you and you need your little finger at the front for your thumbs. And again on this side, we've got 1, 2, so I need to stop about here. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets before I get to it. It may vary, it all depends on where you have stopped, how your tension is. So you do need to aim for the center of each side and work to either side of that. So I'm going to be starting with my 7 single crochets, but you could have 8 or you could have 6. You need to double check. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and as you can see I've got 2 stitches showing at the front, so that's where I want to attach my arm to. Now this is my little finger that goes towards the front, and we're going to pop that just like that. So we're not going to have any sewing to do on this Grinch. We're going to find this first stitch here and we're going to go through that one, and then we're going to pick up our next stitch here. We're going to go through both of them but just with a single crochet. So for the next 4 stitches we're picking up both lots, because I hate sewing things on. And again we've gone through both lots, so that's 3, and this is number 4. Come through, there we go. And then as we continue around the back to our stitch marker, we need to make sure that we incorporate this as well so that doesn't go adrift. So let's have a look. Where's our next stitch? It's in my way now. Now we've done that one, we're going into this one here. So I want that one underneath it. And just keep working your way around, holding that yarn in place to secure it. I'm just going to give that tail end a little tug. Now it's on there quite a way. Make sure it's secure, and then keep going. Excuse my cat, she is not hungry, she has got plenty of food. She just wants affection. I'm going to leave that tail end in now. And we have just arrived at the 4 stitches that we've secured with our stitch marker, which are here. So we need to start in this one now. So again, make sure your little digit is at the front. I'm going to go through that one, and then the next stitch on here. Give everything a tug so it goes on there nice and tight. So that is 1. Go in the next one and pick up the next stitch is 2. And the next stitch, Molly, please, 3. And the next one is 4. Yeah, I love you too. Come on, out of the way. Now she's decided to play with my safety eyes. So I'm going to incorporate this one as I finish off. So there's the last 4 stitches here. So, oops, pop it over. We've got 1, 2, 3. Molly, come on, I've got 1 more stitch to do. Don't do this to me. I'll give you a colour in a minute. And this is my last one. Right, I'm going to have to pause for a second until she gets out. There we have that round. Let's pop our stitch marker back in. And as you can see, we have got 2 arms that are sewn on, not going anywhere. And we'll carry on in a second. Now for row 61, we're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease all the way around. So I'm going to keep this piece of yarn in as well, just to secure it that bit better. So we've got 1 and a decrease. So it's the first, next 2 all the way around. Again, keep your yarn behind. 1 single crochet and a decrease. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 62, we're on 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and you're going to continue that all the way around. Got 1, 2, 3, and then your decrease. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 63, we're on 2 single crochets and a decrease. Now don't forget, you're going to be stuffing as you go, because obviously the hole is getting a lot smaller. 1, 2, and a decrease. And again, if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. Now rows 64 to 66, so that's the next 3 rounds. We're just going to be doing 1 single crochet into every stitch. We're going to be going up to the neck now. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 67. Now row 67, we're going to be doing an increase round. So for every stitch that you're doing, you're going to put 2 single crochets in. So you've got 1, 2, in the next stitch we're going to pop 2, and you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you back under your stitch marker, because you don't want to see me doing all these increases. Row 68, we are going to be doing 1 single crochet followed by an increase all the way around. So we're gradually making the head shape on this. We do our first single crochet, and then in the next stitch you're going to be doing your increase. And then a single crochet, and then an increase. So follow that pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 69. Doing 5 single crochets and then an increase all the way around. So you're going to do that 6 times. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then number 5, and it's in the next stitch you want to be doing your increase. So I'm going to pop 2 in that one. So if you carry the pattern on, 5 single crochets and then an increase, and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Row 70, we're going to go up 1 now, so we're going to do 6 single crochets and then an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then your increase. 2 in this next one. So you carry on, I'm going to meet you back at your stitch marker. Row 71, we're going to go up to 7 single crochets before our increase, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. 5, 6, and 7, and then our increase. So I'll let you carry on, and I'll meet you under your stitch marker. So now before I go any further, I need to make this neck quite strong because it has a lot of weight to hold compared to the body. So what I generally do is I get some pipe cleaners, or you can use rolled up cardboard or lolly sticks, anything like that, and just give them a twist. And then we're going to force it down the neck. Just squeeze it right down in. So you want about half below the surface and about half above the surface. And then I'm going to add some stuffing around it, so you're not going to see the orange shining through. So yeah, if you don't have pipe cleaners, anything that's going to be rigid, even the inside of a toilet roll, if you manage to cut that up and roll it, it will be quite stiff just to poke down in there. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and then I'm going to meet you at the beginning of your next one. Now rows 72 to 77, that's the next six rounds. We are just going to be doing a single crochet into every stitch. And you should have 54 stitches in this round now. So if you want to carry on, keep moving your stitch marker, and you're going to do 6 rounds, and I will meet you at the beginning of row 78. Now on to row 78, we're going to be going backwards again now. So we're going to do 7 single crochets, and then we're going to do a decrease. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and now our decrease. So we're going to pick up the front loop to the next 2 stitches onto our hook, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through. So if you want to carry on going, 7 single crochets followed by a decrease. I'll meet you at the end. So the next 2 rows, so we're looking at rows 79 and 80, we are just going to be doing 48 single crochets all the way around. So we're just doing a normal single crochet round. So if you want to carry on, I will meet you once you've done your 2 rounds under your stitch marker. Okay, we're going to start row 81, but before we do, we need to make sure that our last stitch ends at a side. So as you can see, if you fold the face flat, your stitch needs to be down the side, because we're going to be decreasing as we go, and we need the features to be in the middle. So if yours is slightly over, just pull it back a couple. It won't make any difference. So for row 81, we're going to do 18 single crochets to begin with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now we're going to start decreasing. So we need the next 3 lots of stitches. So that's going to be the next 6 stitches in total. You're going to be decreasing. So you're going to do 3 decreases, one after the other. So this is our first one. Straight into our second decrease. And then into our third decrease. So that's taken up your next 6 stitches. And then we're going to do 18 single crochets again. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. And then, yeah, again, we're going to be doing another lot of 3 decreases. So we have 1, 2, and I'm going to take the stitch marker out for these last 2, and 3. Now rows 82 to 84 is just a single crochet round, so for the next 3 rounds you're just going to put 1 single crochet into every stitch. So if you carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 85. So we're going to be inserting our safety eyes now, and we know that this is row 84. We need to go between rows 79 and 80. So we've got 84, 83, 82, 81, 80, so it's going to be between these 2 here. And I generally do them 6 stitches apart. So I'm just going to flatten it out again. We know that that's the row, but not where we want it. We're going to find the middle, which I presume is about here. And then we're going to count them out. So leave that on there for a second. We've got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3 go here on that one. And then I'm going to count back from this middle. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go in there. So these are where I'm going to be inserting my safety eyes. I'll just take that one out. Pop that one in. Do the same with the other one, and then you can check, make sure you're happy. If you want them further apart or closer, then now's the time to change your mind. So there's my eyes on that one. Now I think this one needs to go out 1. I'm not happy with that. So we're just going to pull this one back out. Pop it in the next one. That looks better. So I'm going to pop my backs on. And the other back. And we have the eyes in place. Now we need to carry on. Make sure I'm not twisted up. So the next row is 85. We're going to be doing 5 single crochets before our decrease. So we carry on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our decrease. So you've got the front loops of your next 2 stitches. So if you'd like to carry on going round, I'll meet you under your stitch marker. Now the next 2 rows, that's rounds 86 and 87, we're just going to be doing a single crochet into every stitch. So you've got 2 whole rounds of just single crochet rounds, and I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Now row 88, we're down to 4 single crochets before our decrease. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then our decrease. So if you carry on, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Rows 89 and 90, that's the next 2 rounds. We are just back on our single crochet rounds. So you want to do 2 rounds now of just single crochets all the way around. I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Okay, so at this point I'm going to start doing some more stuffing in the head. I want to really compact it down. And you're going to want to put it either side of whatever tube you've put in there. I'll push it right down in to give him his shape. Okay, I'll carry on, but I'm going to keep stuffing as I go. So the next row is row 91. We're going to be doing 3 single crochets and then a decrease. 1, 2, 3, and then our decrease. So if you'd like to carry on, I'm going to meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 92, we're on 2 single crochets and then our decrease. 1, 2, and your decrease. So if you carry on going around, I'm going to meet you back under your stitch marker, and now is the best time to start adding some more stuffing. Row 93, we're down to 1 single crochet before our decrease. So 1 and a decrease. And make sure you've stuffed it quite firmly now, because the hole is getting a lot smaller. So if you want to carry on as well, I will meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 94, it is just decreases now, so for every stitch it's going to be decreased. You're going to end up with 6 stitches at the end of this one. That's 2. 3. 4. 5, and I need to remove the stitch marker for this last one. And that is 6. Now I'm going to leave quite a long piece because I want to pull back his features as I do it. And then for our last 6 remaining stitches, we just need to pick up the front loops and close the hole. So we have got one here. That's number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Give it a little tug, not too tight because you do not want to break your yarn. And I'm just going to pop it down and just pop it out the back for now, because I'm going to be using that later. Like so. And now I'm going to change my colour to black to pop up in his mouth. I'm just going to add on these features. So for the mouth, I generally go out 1, 2, 3 and down 1, 2. So I'm going to work a pin in there so I know where I'm starting. So again on the other side, let's double check it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So we're going in there. Pop a pin in that one. And I want to come in from around here, so it comes up in the right space. I'll just leave a longish end on that one. So that should be plenty. And then I'm going to come straight into this side here. Turn it around so you can see. And it's going in that one. And then I'm going to go between the nose follow it down to where I want my mouth line to be. So I'm going to pop up here. Right, so, and when you're happy with the type of smile that you've got, I'm going to put another little stitch in underneath, and I'm going to come up to do what's called the top of this mouth here. So I'm going to miss 2. There's a stuffing coming out, and that's going to go back down into that one, and then we're going to pop it right up between the eyes to pop on your nose feature. And then I'm just going to come down a couple of stitches to complete his nose. And get rid of this stuffing in a second, it's just pulling it out as it comes. So you're just going to repeat the nose section 2 or 3 times until you're happy with how thick it's going to be. And then I'm going to feed that back, and I want to come out just where this one is here. I'll find out where I'm going to feel my way. There we go. And then to finish this off, I generally tie a knot and then feed it back in. And I'm going to cut my ends off. I'm going to leave a bit of a tail on it because I do want it to stay inside the body. Just give it a push, pop it back in. And now that's lost inside, we've got our features on, and we need to sink our eyes in. This is where this one comes in. Okay, we're going to be making the features now, so I'm going to feed this yarn back through, and I want it to come out down the side of the eye. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to do the same with the other one. I'm just going to pop it back through any way you like under the eye. We're going to pull it in, give it some tension like that. Now I'm going to come back through, and I need to do it on the other eye. Keeping that tension pulled on that one, we're going to go through the other side, and again out anywhere in the back. Going to pop that one in now, like that. And all I want to do now is I want to go up with a stitch, anyone, and just feed it through, just to keep the tension going on it. My yarn's just come off my needle. And I'm just going to lose the rest of this yarn through the back, just pop it through a couple of times so it snags with all of that stuffing. And cut that one off. There's the eyes, and I'm just going to put a little bit of white underneath them. So again, I'm just going to come in from anywhere, come as close to the eye as I can. I'm going to go slightly higher there. And then round the same as you did when you were doing the tension, but we're going to leave the white visible for the eye. Just pop it underneath there. Come through. I think I've been a bit facetious there. Let's just put out this one for now, just until we've got it in place. Okay, and then find its way back through the other side. I'm gonna have to do it in a couple. I need to tie a knot in it because I don't want it coming apart. So we're working our way back through to this original one here. Just tie a knot so it doesn't come adrift. And then I'm going to hide that back through into the head. I've got little whites on the eyes. Now for the top of the head and for the eyebrows. Again, I'm going to thread my yarn. This one's for the eyebrows next. Again, come in from the side anywhere, and I'm going to go above the eye. And count up 1 and across 2, 3. Up 1 and across 3. And do a couple of stitches like you did the nose. And I'm going to work my way back over to the other eye. Do the same for that one. Up 1, 1, 2, 3. And again, this last bit I'm going to lose back over here. I'm going to do it in 2 sections, otherwise I'll be fighting with it. So one here, and then find our way back up through the original one. Again, tie a knot and hide it in the head. Now all that's left is our tufts of hair at the top, and I generally get a piece of yarn like this, and I'm just going to roughly cut it. You are going to trim at the end, so it's not essential that you get a certain length of yarn. And then what I do is I go into the top here and I pop my needle through, or my hook, pull a piece of hair through, minus all the stuff in. Hopefully none will come out with it. Why are you not coming through? There we go. And then we're going to loop this end over the tail end and pull. So you're going to do a few of those going round, and then we're going to fan them out as it is, so that each strand of this yarn has got 6 strands to it. So we're going to separate them to make the tufts of hair at the end. So I'm going to let you carry on feeding them through. Doesn't matter if you've got one longer than the other, because they will be trimmed at the end. Okay, I'm happy with how many I've got on the top now. So all I'm going to do is going to go around and I'm going to separate them. So we're just going to pull the thread apart. And you're going to do that to all of them. So I'll let you carry on and I'll meet you back at the trimming stage. Okay, that's all been separated out. And then what I do is I generally just bring my fingers up and cut it in a straight line. So now we have our tufty hair. The next thing to work on is the scarf. So for the scarf, you're going to want to start by chaining 5. We're going to do 4 single crochets along, and the last one, the number 5, is your turning chain. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go in the second loop from our chain, and we're going to go back down and do 4 single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to chain 1 to turn, then you're going to go back down the other side. 1, 2, 3. Shall I get both sides of that loop? 4. Chain 1 to turn, and we're going to go back down again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, chain 1 to turn. I'm going to have 4 rows in all. The foundation chain I don't count. So this is our 4th row. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we're not going to finish number 4. We're going to leave those 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to join in our white yarn for our next stripe. So we finish that loop, that stitch off with the white, and then we're going to chain 1 to turn, and we're going to go back down the other side. But as we do it, we need to incorporate this white yarn and the red one over there so that we don't have any sewing in to do. So my Grinch doesn't have any sewing. You don't sew the arms or the legs on, they're all in one. So you're going to work your way back down this row, making sure that these 2 strands of yarn are above your hook, so you're sewing them in as you go. That's 2. Whoops. Got to caught on that. Make sure they are above your hook. 3. And the last one is number 4. You're going to chain 1 to turn and work your way back down the other side. Before I go anywhere, I'm going to give these 2 that I've just incorporated in a little tug. So we're going to tug this little white one and the red one to make them look neat. So we're going to go back down the other side. So 1, 2, 3. Make sure you got both of these loops on the end. 4. Again, chain 1 to turn. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1 to turn. Last row on this one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Don't finish your number 4, and then what you need to do is you need to cut off your red one and bring it back round. And we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to pull it through. Going to chain 1 to turn it round. We're going to make sure this red one, your tail end, and your white one is over, ready to go above your hook. And we're going to carry on for another 4 rows. And you're going to repeat this pattern all the way up until you're happy with how long your scarf is. Let's just pull those tight again. Where's my red one? There. Give that one a little tug. And the white one. And then you can just neaten your tail ends up at the end. You don't need to sew them in because you've already sewn them in. So it's just a case of cutting them off close. So if you want to carry on until your desired length, then I'll come back to you. Okay, I'm happy with the length of mine. I've gone for 12 lots of the white and 13 lots of the red. So it's 25 little sections all in all. And as you can see, all mine are still sticking out. And you just make sure you're happy that they are nice and snug. And then you cut it as close as you like. So if you want to trim all that off, make sure you're ready with that bit, and then I'll go on to the hat for you. Now for the hat, I'm going to start on the rib section here, and I'm going to chain 5, pretty much like we did for the scarf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have a look. And I'm going to do 1 for my chaining turn, so that's 6 actually in total. And we're going to go back down the side doing a single crochet. So each one of these sides will be 5 single crochets. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to chain 1 to turn. Then you're going to be going in these back loops here. So we're going to obviously miss that chaining turn one, and we're going straight in this first single crochet there. And all the way along, you're going to go in the back loops and do a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's going to be chain 1 to turn. And you're going to keep going until you have got 20 of these ridges going around. And obviously you'd need to measure your hat and make sure that it fits around the head. So if you carry on going until you have 20 of these ridges, and I'll meet you back there. Okay, so I have worked out that I have got 20 wobbles. So each one of these is 2 rows. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now I'm going to bring the other side up and I'm going to slip stitch along. So I'm going to go into this end one here. And at the same time, I'm going to go back into my first one. Try and get in there. There we go. Pull the yarn through and slip stitch. Go into this second stitch and into our second stitch here. And slip stitch through. Third one. Fourth one. And the last one. And just finish it off and cut your yarn. So there we have the band. I'm going to turn it in that way. I'll weave those ends in a second, and you can just test it on your Grinch that you're happy. Now to add the bursts of colour. Now for adding the red yarn, we need to pull up one of these loops. So for each two of these, you have got somewhere that you can pull up a loop. So I'm going to start with my yarn in the middle, and again I'm going to be hiding it behind it because obviously I don't want to be sewing ends in. The bane of my life, sewing in ends. We're going to chain one, we're going to go back through the same hole and do a single crochet like that, and then we're going to go into every gap and do a single crochet. You're just going to do that all the way around. So you should end up with about 40 single crochets going around. So I'll let you carry on and then we'll add up at the end how many we've both got. Okay, so I have managed to do 40 single crochets going around, and now back with this first one here, I'm going to be doing a slip stitch into that one. So I'm going to mark this one as my last one in that round, so we can keep an eye on where we've got to. And I'm going to go into the top of this one and just do a slip stitch like so. Now we're going to go and do 2 rounds of your 40 single crochets. So we're just literally going to go into the top of each one and do 40 all the way around. If you find that you've managed to do say 41 or 42, just pop a decrease in somewhere on this round to even it down, back down to 40. Like so. So if you carry on, I'll meet you at the end of your second row of 40. Okay, in row 4, we're going to be doing 8 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around. So you're going to repeat that 4 times. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then our decrease. So the front loops of the next 2 stitches, pull it through and yarn over and pull through. So if you carry on, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Okay, on to row 5 and 6, we're going to do another 2 rounds of just single crochet. So that's 36 single crochets going all the way round. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you back once you've finished your second row. To row 7, we're going to be doing 7 single crochets and then a decrease, and we're going to repeat that pattern around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then our decrease. So if you carry on doing that pattern, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Now for rows 8 to 10, that's the next 3 rounds, we are just going to be doing a single crochet round. So do a single crochet into every stitch all the way round for 3 rounds, and there should be 32 single crochets in this round. So I'll meet you back when you've finished row 10. On to row 11, we're on 6 single crochets and then our decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then our decrease. So if you carry that on around, I'll meet you at the end of your stitch marker. Okay, so for the next 3 rounds, we're going to be doing a single crochet round. So 1 single crochet into every stitch, and that will take you up to the end of row 14. So I'll meet you back at the beginning of row 15. Down to row 15 now, we're on 5 single crochets and then our decrease. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our decrease. So if you want to carry on with that pattern going around, I'm going to meet you under your stitch marker. So for the next 3 rounds, that's round 16, 17 and 18, we're just going to be doing 1 single crochet into every stitch. And you should have 24 single crochets now in your round. So if you would like to carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 19. And we'll go from there. Row 19, we're on 4 single crochets and then our decrease, and we're going to copy that all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the decrease in the next stitch. So I'll let you carry on and I'm going to meet you back under your stitch marker. Okay, so rows 20, 21 and 22, we're just going to be back to our single crochet round. So 3 rounds of just single crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Row 23, we're going to be doing 3 single crochets and then our decrease. 1, 2, 3, and then our decrease in the next 2 stitches. So if you want to carry on with that pattern around, I'm going to meet you back under your stitch marker. Rows 24 to 26, that's the next 3 rows, you've guessed it, it is a single crochet round. So we're just going to be doing 1 single crochet into every stitch. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 27. Row 27, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets before our decrease. Almost there. And a decrease. So if you carry on, I'll meet you back under your stitch marker. Rows 28 to 30, so your next 3 rounds again, we've just got single crochet rounds. So if I let you carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 31. Row 31, we're down to 1 single crochet before your decrease, and you're going to follow that pattern all the way around. Getting a lot smaller now. So if you carry on, I'll meet you under your stitch marker. Rows 32 to 34, we're back to our single crochet round. So 1 single crochet into every stitch, and if you carry on, I'll meet you under your stitch marker. Row 35, we're going to do another decrease, so we're just going to be doing decrease all the way around. Should take you down to 4. So I'll let you carry on, I'll meet you back at the beginning of your next row. Okay, so that's going to be our last row, number 35, so I'm just going to cut my yarn, pull it through and feed my needle. We're going to finish this off. We're just going to pick up these last 4 stitches in the front loop. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Give it a tug, and then I'm just going to feed that back in through the middle. Ready to pop our pom-pom on. So there we have our Grinch's hat. Okay, so for the pom-pom, I'm actually going to use, rather than use the cotton that I use for all of my other work, I'm going to need to use like an acrylic, a wool, something a lot softer, so that it will puff out like the pom-pom. Makes it easier. And what I tend to do is I just cut a piece of yarn off ready to tie it around with, and then I just wrap it around a finger. And I'm going to go around about 40 times. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 40. You don't want to do it too tight, otherwise you're going to stop the circulation in your finger. I'll get rid of that white one now. And then with a hook, I just pop it under my finger, like so, and bring that one back. I'll just caught it on that wall, that doesn't matter. Like there. And then we're going to tie a knot in that one. As tight as you can. Just do 2 or 3 knots. This is going to get quite messy, so if you're wearing black, put something on your lap, tea towel or something. And then we're just going to cut the top. And this is where we start trimming, so I generally just push it through my fingers like that. And you're going to want to cut quite a lot because you only need a small pom-pom. And don't worry, it will look better when it gets smaller. And just trim it back. So you can even go smaller than that, like I have on this one. I'm just showing you for an example's sake. And then I'm going to get my hook, go straight through the top, grab the tail ends of the yarn and pull it through. Check, I know I've still got one more there. There it is, hiding at the top. And then with the red that we felt pushed back through the tail end, we're just going to tie a knot in that. We can pop his hat on now. So there we have our Mr. Grinch with his Santa hat and his scarf. So if you did like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll pop something else up.